I have started to do my makeup on Zoom when I run out of time at home, and it works out well. So let me tell you what I'm up to today. It has been a really interesting several weeks because, of course, I was in Las Vegas for Women of Power, but when I got home, there was a lot of virtual stuff to do. And the first thing that I did, let's see here, let's do this. Make sure I get the right thing. The first thing I did was um, ELC's Power of Women at Work, excuse me, of Women at Work. That's what it's called. And I had to speak first thing in the morning and then turn around and do moderating. So for moderating, what we do, hey, okay, I can see and hear. This is good. Good lighting. Um, what we do when we moderate is there are a series of fireside chats with several executives, and most of them, not all of them, are members of the ELC. And the folks who are watching are mid level managers. And some of them are a little bit more senior, but they're getting all of this good information and seeds from these seasoned veterans, right? Let's see, what else do we need? So yeah, that was good, and apparently it went well. And I got asked the next day to do men in leadership, their men's program, which actually happens. I'm contouring if you're wondering. It happens next week on the 8th, and this is comparable to Power Women at Work. Get a little contouring going here. Um, and I will do the same thing, only I won't speak. So I will be on air doing that, getting a little cheekbone situation here. I'm not going to put on foundation. Go look at that. I'm not going to. I've been trying to convince my daughter. She's 12. Her skin is beautiful. Okay. But these 12-year-olds are so into their skincare. And I'm really concerned that she's doing too much. She doesn't need moisturizer. Like, why? Okay. So anyway, let me do a little bit around the nose here. So anyway, I have been doing a series of meet and greets with each one of the executives. These people, they're amazing, okay? Um, so they'll understand the cues and what kind of questions I'm going to ask, and they can ask any last minute questions they may have. And today I had my tech check, and that's just to make sure that my sound and light and everything is going the way it should. Put there. Um, yeah, and then I have a few more meet and greets, intros with some of these folks. And then it's go time next Tuesday. I really didn't have that much to do in the tech check this time because I already got the run of show. I already integrated it into my script. And y'all, I like to be unscripted. I like to be unscripted. But when you're moderating, just a little, gem for you, you got to get the facts right. And when you have a lineup of people who, they have titles and they have what do you call it? Bios, right? You got to get those facts right. You can't memorize those. So I like to have prompter in place, especially for the intros, and I'll follow it until it's time to start the fireside chat. And then that's when we rock and roll, right? I might have the questions in front of me. And the journalist in me, you know, like a dog with a bone, I'm curious. I want to know, some of these things that they're talking about. I need to follow up, right? So I have follow up questions. They aren't written. but I like for it to sound conversational, right? It needs to be conversational and it needs to be warm. It needs to sound like we have some kind of rapport. And then the people enjoy it better. They feel like they're really listening in on a conversation between friends. That's what we are aiming for, right? So, one of the things that I do, here's some game. Okay. One of the things that I do to draw out some of these executives is to highlight what they say. I use the active listening skills that I have from coaching, and I act as a mirror, and I also act as a brainstormer. It may sound crazy in an interview, but if I ask the right questions, the right open ended ones, they talk more, right? That's what you got to do. Repeat what they say. And of course, you want to make sure that you're adding your expertise because these kind of gigs, they are for folks that don't know what these executives do every day for a living, right? It looks pretty good. All right. Um, because I do what I do. And topics like change and transition and transformation, emotional intelligence. These are things that are right up my alley. And I talk about them every day with executives just like them. So adding to the conversation with information I know, but still spotlighting them. That's the key. All right, let's do a little something up here. Okay. How's that looking? Pretty good. I was laughing with my friend Valerie Burton. We're texting each other. And she's a great girlfriend because let me tell you, when my makeup is popping, she texts me and she's like, your makeup looks amazing. Who did it? Well, I've learned a little bit over the years how to do my makeup, but when it comes to, being on TV locally, even in other markets, and, if I can have somebody in another market, I will. But my favorite, no, that's not what I'm looking for. My favorite makeup artist is my girl Desiree Phillips, and she's here in Dallas. And she does my makeup impeccably. Just one more thing I don't have to do. I don't want to be concerned about my makeup before I speak. The only thing I need to be thinking about is what I'm gonna say, right? Right, right. So I take that off my plate, even though I do a decent job. I do a decent job. Valerie has learned how to do her own, and she's amazing. And she saves money that way. It's a great way to save money. You could do it yourself. I don't do it with a MUA every time. And you know what else keeps me focused, especially when I'm on the road? Is having my stylist shop for me before I go. I don't have to worry about packing anything hardly. I mean, just the basics, right? Nothing else really big. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do eyes. I'm not doing any lashes today. I mean, what for? I know y'all love some lashes. I like to look normal sometimes. Let's see. Here we go. Let's this out of the way for a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little cat eye up here, just a little bit. This is better than a mirror, y'all. I like it. You get to see how the light is hitting you. What do you think about that? That's pretty good. See, it's hard to tell. Okay. Yeah, so my stylist is Brittany. Brittany's my go-to. For a while there, she moved out of town and I didn't know what I was going to do. But luckily, my PR person at the time, Leah Frazier, also a stylist. So she hooked me up. What's funny to me is And no offense, y'all, but y'all need to know this. These stylists that end up in your inbox trying to sell you their services. And I mean, I get it, right? Trying to make some money, trying to do what they do for a living. But for somebody who's been doing this for a long time now, I mean, I've been getting up to speak for 10 years. And even when I was in corporate, I'd have somebody meet me on the road or at headquarters to do my makeup. And often I'd have someone bring me clothes. Um, it's a fine line between I want to be your stylist and let me fix your style. Okay. You may not say that, but that's what's coming through when you keep pushing. Like, is something wrong with my style? I don't know, y'all. Y'all be careful with that. Okay. The other thing is this. This may be news to y'all. I really don't lead with the fact that I'm a coach. If you listen to what I say, if you listen to my story, you'll understand. I'm a writer, okay? That happens to be a coach, right? The way the story unfolds is I started writing when I was in college, right? I have all sorts of publications under my belt on my resume. And when I picked up on speaking, that was great. Yeah, I knew I could make money speaking, I could make money writing, but you heard me say you can write about it, you can speak about it, but you got to do something about it. And so the coaching really is my doing something about it because I'm actually on a mission. Okay. And everything that I do is driven by what I write. My coaching programs, the topics, the specialties, all of that stuff. If you read my writing, you'll understand where I actually stand when it comes to coaching. So when people approach me and I'm like, well, I'm building my coach portfolio of coaches and all that kind of stuff. You know what? No, because here's the other thing. Okay. I'm an executive coach. And until recently, executive coaches have really been clandestine. Okay. You just really didn't see them out front. You would see internet coaches. That's what I call them. Many of them that aren't really credentialed or they got some flimsy credential from somewhere on the internet. They're the ones out there selling real hard, okay? And you may be saying, well, Michelle, you're visible because I have books to sell, okay? And there is a consumer element to what I do. So those of you out there striving to be coaches, nothing wrong with that. First of all, go get the education and the credentials so you can make some real money, okay? That's going to help you get those corporate contracts and corporate engagements. And you won't have to do very much on social media, okay? Unless you're trying to have a consumer bent, which is what I have, okay? I can, let's see, I can, my messaging is as much corporate as it is for the masses. How am I doing, you? Pretty good. Yeah. I like to do this because I mess around and have a line right there, right? Looks pretty good. What kind of lip do I want today? I think I want a soft lip. But yeah, I wasn't born a coach. I may die one, who knows? Well, let me tell you, I was born a communicator. All right. And so I bring all of my talents to bear. I was telling somebody the other day about how I was in television news, but I was a writer and associate producer. I had no desire to be on camera, none. Until recently, I really didn't. I still don't. You see what I got to go through just to be on? But I don't mind it because I'm on mission right now and I'm using every single one of my talents to get the message out to the people who need to hear it. Right. And part of this is communication, right? So for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, she just switched careers and it was no time. No, it's almost 30 years in the making, sis. Okay. 30 years. And when you get to the point where your skills become intuitive and you could do it in your sleep and you have assessment of all your skills, we'll figure out how to bring it all to bear for your mission, no one else's. We don't have the same mission. We don't have the same mission. Figure out your mission, figure out your purpose, and then go do it. Go use the skills you have to do what you do. Bye, y'all.